Hello and welcome to my car. So I had a little bit of time to kill right now, and I mean that sounds so bad. I am going to go ahead and start though with some new releases that are on my radar, and then I'm going to go ahead and jump into the books that I really want to get into this month. Now the TBR, honestly at this point, it's mainly for fun. Sometimes I do get to the books, other times I totally end up changing my mind, or I'm in the mood for something else, and I'm very much a mood reader. I read things that I feel like reading. So if I added a bunch of Mafia to my TBR and for some reason I feel like reading a bunch of shifter romance or small town or something, that's what I'm gonna read. But anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and start with the new releases that are on my radar. There's a ton of books releasing, I'm sure, and I feel like every day I'm finding out about a new book that's coming out. But these are the ones that I saw that piqued my interest and that I really want to pick up in May. So first, for the new releases, I have The One I Left Behind by Piper Rain. This is a second chance small town romance. It's an ex-pro football player who basically, from what I gathered, they used to have some sort of history. They loved each other, and then he moved away, went to become a pro football player. Now he's retired and he moved back to the small town where the heroine is at, and he becomes her son's football coach. And they kind of start connecting from there. So that just already intrigued me. Like, that just sounds a little messy, but a little bit romantic. I don't know. It sounds good. And I'm kind of in like a sports kick right now because of like the Boys of Tommen series that I'm into. And it's perfect. Football, it's pretty close to rugby. So yeah, that's not the only one that's coming out that is also a sports romance. I also have Unstoppable Love by Stacey Lynn. This is also a second chance small town romance, except he's still a professional football player. And I think in this case, he moves back to the small town, or maybe he's just there visiting, and that's how they reconnect. So both books are pretty like similar as far as like small town football players, but they're very different. I think in this one, it's like an 8-year gap. Like, it's been like 8 years since he left the small town to like pursue his football career. I don't know. It just, again, it sounds messy. It sounds fun. We shall see. Next, I do have a book that's a little bit different. This is The Paradise Problem by Christina Lauren. This is a fake marriage billionaire artist. So from what I gathered here, he is like the heir to like a bunch of money, and she is this woman that he met, and there's like a clause in order for him to get his inheritance, which means he has to be married. And so he decides to arrange a marriage between him and, I think it's like a friend or someone that he knows from college, something like that. She's very like humble, down to earth, but she is like a starving artist, and they end up coming up with this arrangement. Obviously there's going to be some sort of benefit to her, but there is a clause that says that they have to be married for 5 years. So it wasn't like a quick thing of just, oh, be married for like a year and then you get your inheritance and then you can just file for divorce. So it seems like now he has to like actually bring her around his family, and he's kind of worried that that's going to change her. So it just sounds really, really interesting. I have Lies and Wedding. So this is by Kevin Kwan. So he's actually the one behind Crazy Rich Asians. So I'm excited already. I freaking love that movie. And this one, it just said it's the girl next door. He has to marry somebody from like his same status, someone that has a lot of money, because I believe his family, even though they come from a lot of money, they're struggling. And so they have to marry someone that has a lot of money, except he's been in love with the girl next door. So he's kind of like, do I just go along with what my family wants me to do, or do I marry the love of my life, aka the girl next door, whose father is a doctor, but it's still not good enough for like my family. But on top of that, it said that there's like a volcano eruption, and then it just at the very end it said it combines love, money, and murder. This one is Queen of Hearts by Sarah Blue. This is a mob Omegaverse series, but you can be reading it as a standalone, so you don't have to read the books back to back. I do believe that this book that's releasing is like the 4th book in the series. So from what I gathered, this girl, she obviously is like an Omega, and I think her dad is basically going to arrange her with any other like powerful mob. And I love Mafia and I love Omegaverse, so this is like the best of both worlds. And instead of that, she kind of runs away and she wants to find her own pack, except she ends up forming this connection, and it might just be the same pack that her dad was going to arrange her with. So I don't know, Mafia, Omegaverse, perfect combo. Last but not least, on my new releases, I have All My Love by Morgan Elizabeth. This is a second chance rock star romance, but what really got my attention is that there's supposed to be really good mental health representation, which I just feel like it's really important. I feel like it's something that people have become more comfortable talking about, but I feel like it still needs to be kind of brought out a little bit more. So that's really like the reason why I'm going to be picking up this book too. Also, I've never read a rock star romance, so I'm like, this like could be really fun. Those are the new releases that are coming out in May that are currently on my radar. Now, on my TBR, besides these new releases that I am hoping to get to, I will definitely be continuing the Throne of Glass series. I started in January. I have not finished it. I'm in the middle of the tandem read right now, and it's just, those are some heavy books. So it's been taking me a while to get through it, but I still want to read it. I'm still very much invested in the story. It's just, I pick it up and then I put it down when I'm reading another book, and then I pick it up and then I put it down. So it's like a pick up and put down all the time. It's a little routine that the Throne of Glass series and I have, but I will be continuing that. Also, like I mentioned, I have been reading. I'm about to finish Keeping 13, and then I'm going to go into, I think it's Taming and Redeeming 7, those two books, and then it's Gibbsy's book. Freaking love Gibbsy. Anyway, I have to read Joey's books first before I get to his. So that's like big on my TBR. I have Wild Love by Elsie Silver. This is a small town billionaire, and it came out at the beginning of April. I haven't gone around to it, but from the people that I have seen that have read the book, they've loved it. They've all had nothing but really good things to say. So I'm really, really curious about this one. All I know is it's a billionaire who moves to this small town, and he basically is trying to start like his own record store, or like record studio, recording studio. And he ends up having his best friend's sister, I believe, work for him, but he's always been in love with her, or like he loves her or starts falling for her, something like that. But again, it's his best friend's sister. He's not supposed to go there. So it's like, I don't know, it's like a little bit forbidden. It just sounds good. But it's like small town billionaire recording studio, and it's also single dad. And it's a brand new series from Elsie Silver, and I really liked her Chestnut Springs series. So I'm excited. I'm really excited. And plus, with all the good reviews that have come out with this one, I'm even more excited to pick it up. Not that reviews should sway you, just throwing that out there, but it helps, you know? And I have really good experience with Elsie Silver books, so I'll definitely be picking this up in May. I was gonna say March. I'm trying to go back in the past. Another one, part of a series. This is the 5th book. Wait, yeah, the 5th book, I think. King of Pride, King of Wrath, King of Greed. No, the 4th book. King of Sloth by Anna Huang. This one, again, King of Wrath and King of Pride, they were okay. I liked them. I think they were like 4-ish, 4 point something stars for me. King of Greed, my favorite. Freaking loved it. Loved it. I actually want to reread it. I loved it. But she's coming out with King of Sloth, which is the other friend group, like the other girl in the friend group. Sloan, I believe that's her name. Yeah, Sloan. And I think his name is Gabriel. Xavier, I think. And he's a billionaire. This is all like a billionaire series. And she's his publicist. So she's like the one that has not thrown herself at him, is not like taken by his charm. Like she's just, like she sees it as he's my client and that's it. So again, forbidden, if we can see a pattern here. She's just like, no, like I'm not gonna do that. So yeah, with King of Sloth, I'm just really excited to continue the series, see how I like it, see how it compares to the rest of them. Again, King of Greed was my favorite. It's gonna be tough to beat, but I have no doubt. I love Anna Huang's books. Her books are just so, so good. So King of Sloth, I'll be picking that one up too. Last but not least on my April TBR, I have Just for the Summer by Abby Jimenez. The books that I have read, actually, I think I've only read one book by Abby Jimenez. Yours truly. I want to read Part of Your World. But Just for the Summer, I heard it's like similar to Good Luck Chuck. I don't know if you guys remember that movie with Jessica Alba, where in that movie, the hero, he basically, like, anytime that he, you know, sleeps with a girl, they end up finding the love of their life. And he ends up meeting Jessica Alba's character in the movie, and he does not want to sleep with her because he doesn't want her to break up with him and then find the love of his, like, her life. And so the whole movie is basically about that and how he's cursed and he has like a hex on him. So in this case, both the characters have that story. So both the hero and the heroine have that, where they happen to date somebody and as soon as they break up, they get married and like find the love of their life. And they meet each other on like a Reddit thread and they end up saying, hey, how about we date each other? And like our hexes might cancel out, because then that would mean that you would meet the love of your life and I would meet the love of my life. And so that's how they start dating. And I think that's why it's called Just for the Summer. I'm assuming it takes place in the summer. I'm excited to read this. This is the type of book that I picture myself reading like by the pool or by the beach or something. I don't know. These are the new releases coming out in May, and this is my May TBR. Honestly, the books have like a pretty high chance of me reading them. If anything, I probably just won't get to read as many, but we'll see. We'll see how productive we get to be. And even if, you know, I only read 5 books, it's not a competition. I gotta live my life as well. So thanks so much for tuning into this video. I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.